Well, welcome to the Transformational Podcast. My name's Chris. I'm the pastor from Paradise. And this is my brother, Robert, all the way from Maryland, the Marina, Maryland. Hey, Robert, I opened our church's podcast this last week, and I stammered at the very beginning because I was like, wait, am I introducing the right podcast?
Well, I'm
And
not gonna lie. That was a
they
very
didn't run it
energetic.
back.
Yeah, that was a very energetic opening there.
Well, I like it because I've got kind of morning allergy voice right now. So this is
Okay.
like the deepest my voice ever is.
Well, and that sure mic is probably helping quite a bit as well. Love that equipment.
Yeah.
Chris, okay, I have to ask. I've been holding off on asking, but
I
now
knew where it's coming, but
you better know,
yeah,
dude. Dolphins? Really?
yeah. So
Seriously?
here's the deal.
What are you
I'm
like
wearing
now?
my
Like
new hat for flag
we got
football.
rid of Parkin or
It's for
Parsons, and now
no, I'm
you're
out on
out.
that. Oh my gosh. I don't know how you ruin the season before you even play a game.
Hey
But
Chris, this is
anyway,
our year. This is our year. We're gonna go to the Super Bowl this year. Cowboys are all the way, all the way. We're gonna win.
the toilet bowl. Um, anyway, no, I knew you were going to ask, but I wore it on purpose because next
Okay.
weekend starts our flag football season, Robert.
Okay.
And
And you're the
every year,
Dolphins?
well, yeah, every year I choose a different team so that I can get a different hat. And so
Respect. Respect. I
last
like
year
that.
was the Texans, the year before were the Chargers. I think the year before were the Jaguars, the year before the
I like it.
Cardinals, the year before. So my hope is like, I don't know. This is my last year with Brock, and we've got a pretty good team. I'm excited about, but I don't know.
So does Brock play line? I mean, he feels like a line type guy.
Well, that's what's great about.
Or like a running back or something like
Yeah,
that.
well,
Somebody that's basically puts their heads down and just
yeah,
goes.
that's what's great about flag football is that
Okay.
he plays all the positions, and
Okay.
so and he
Okay.
actually is a pretty good. He plays quarterback for me. He's got a pretty good arm.
All right. I
And
can see that.
so it's pretty good, pretty fun time. Now with school ball, this is his first year with school ball because we didn't let them play tackle um, until the school offered it.
Yeah.
Kind of like mom and dad did with me. And
then you broke your arm immediately.
I know, dad gummit before I even get to play my first game in 8th grade year. Anyway, it was in the scrimmage. It was in the scrimmage prior to.
I remember.
Anyway,
Yeah.
it was dumb. But yeah, looking forward to that. But he is line. He's D line and O line right now.
That's
but
awesome.
We're gonna get him faster because he will be a punishing linebacker or running back.
I don't know. Would he be a running back or would be what's the pulling guard? Who's the one that leads the running back?
Yeah, that's a lot of times.
We used to have a boss. Eddie used to have a boss. He's one of my favorite bosses. He said, "Let me be your." He say, "Is it the pulling guard, fullback, pulling guard,
fullback?" A lot of times, but we just don't have a fullback on our offense.
Pulling guard. So. He was a big. I mean, his neck was the size of my torso.
Yeah.
And anyway, hey, it has been. We missed last week. That was on us. It's
yeah, a little bit of a logistics thing there.
Yeah.
I was in Colorado for a men's event, and it wasn't until like I thought about it that week. I was like, oh, we got to record before I leave. But I left at like my house at 4:30 a.m. on Friday, so that I could catch a flight and get there in time. So just didn't work out. But
that's fine. It won't always work out. We're glad you're back with us listening today. We're trying to catch back up. And Chris thought he put himself on mute.
Oh no!
Just told his dog.
Oh,
hey, but your dog is pretty good. If you had him,
he actually laid down. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was impressive. Anyway, is it double recording? Is that what's going on? Is it pulling recording source from 2? Yeah, it is. It's pulling a recording source from something other than your microphone. So switch over. While he's doing that, I'll tell you about my week. Because he's got a very confused face at the moment. Anyway, so this week, Chris, we were talking a little bit about it beforehand. I had a meeting in the Pentagon with one of the most senior senior officials in the Navy side of the house, and a great deal of prayer went into that. Prayed quite a bit about it, and prepared quite a bit for it. And when it was all said and done, Chris, I did everything from prioritizing sleep. I did everything to like write down the stuff. I actually practiced in front of my the folks that I work with, and I was headed into the Pentagon, and it was like not hot. It was just hot enough to be a little bit sweaty. You know what I'm talking about?
Bro, that's not a little bit sweaty for a guy like me. That is,
Yeah. Well,
it's almost the worst
I was
because you
on the
just feel it.
barrier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you feel it
right on the
breaking
barrier.
out, and you
And
can't do much about it.
I'm like, don't
Yeah,
sweat, don't sweat, don't sweat, because I'm in my
yeah.
fancy uniform, not super fancy, but fancy enough. So I get down. I get down to where I'm going to prep, and what I do for a prep. Not that everybody cares, but I'll just tell you. I sit down and I'm trying to get my game face on. I go through the brief down in this one little spot, and I do all this stuff. Well, I set my bag down and I go to get some of my stuff out of the bag, and the first thing that happens is I try to get one thing out of the bag, and literally everything is tied together in a knot. It all starts coming out and spilling out everywhere. And I'm like, what is going on? I'm trying not to sweat, but now I'm sweating worse. And some reason downstairs is like 1 degree warmer than it was upstairs. And so the sweat bounces back. And I'm feeling a little embarrassed because my bag just literally exploded in the cafeteria where everybody is.
Oh
So I'm trying to
gosh.
stuff it back in, trying not to sweat. And then I got a bottle of water. And you ever remember that when Marco Rubio like got that water bottle, and he took the cap off and it was too full, and he's trying to drink out of it at one of the press conferences. You remember that? And he like spills it. Yeah. So I get my water bottle, I take the lid off, and I go to drink out of it, and Chris, it's too full, and it's boosh straight down my uniform and in my lap, and it's on the
Oh my
table.
gosh.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm a clown show.
Oh no.
So I set the water bottle down on the table, Chris. I go to put the lid on it, and I miss. It fumbles out of my hand and it shoots across the
Oh my
cafeteria. And I'm like,
gosh.
Chris, all right, no more pebbles. That's it. No
Yeah,
more
yeah.
pebbles.
So I know what that means. Tell people what that means.
Yeah. So that's okay. So good. I asked Llewellyn if it was okay. So we got no more pebbles from our sister Llewellyn. And Llewellyn was feeling like she was kind of like under attack, like a spiritual attack, and like just things just weren't going well, and things just kind of kept one thing after another just piling up, piling up, piling up. And she was getting ready to go walk, and all of a sudden, like an ankle hurt that hadn't hurt in a while, and then it got worse, and then she couldn't walk in the whole 9 yards. And she just kind of in a moment of desperation and reality, I think. She just cried out to the Lord. She's like, all right, Lord, no more pebbles. Like, no more pebbles in my shoe. No more just nagging, adding on. Like I need you to step in and stop Satan from all the stuff that he's doing right now. And she said that she felt like the Lord stepped in and healed her ankle, made it well. Not just made it well in the moment, but made it well from where it had been actually hurting for life. I actually talked to her yesterday, Chris.
Yeah.
That text was, I don't know, what was that?
That was probably
4
3
weeks
weeks
ago,
ago.
3 weeks
Yeah.
ago. She said her ankle's so well right now that her knee's not used to it. Her knee's been compensating. And she's like, yeah, so now I have to kind of redo my mechanics because I've been apparently compensating for this bad ankle.
Wow. That's awesome.
So anyway, in that moment of going to pick my lid up, put it back on my water, I was like, no more pebbles. Like, that's enough.
Yeah.
And Chris, it was really fascinating what the Lord did. It was almost like the volume got turned down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was able to like sit, things just, as normal stuff happens, right? You still do drop things and that kind of stuff. But at that moment, it just felt like the volume just kept getting turned up and up and up. And it just kind of quieted down. I went into the brief. Mom told me that she sat with, because I sent a text out to the family. You remember?
Right. Yeah.
And I said, hey, I need prayer. I'm going to do this brief. And I prayed, asked for prayer for 3 things. I don't remember exactly what it was. But Mom was walking in with a patient. She told me this on Wednesday. She said, I was walking in with a patient, and I told her, I said, hey, my son is about to go do this big thing, and he asked for prayer. And the patient says, oh, well, we need to pray for him right now. She said she grabbed Mom's hand, pulled her in, and was like, Lord, we pray for these things. And then she's like, and we pray for presence. We pray that he has presence in that room, and that, that's a big thing. Chris, I didn't put that in my text message. And I don't know if I even thought about it as a thing. But I can tell you with absolute certainty that woman's prayer was answered. Like God gave me presence in that room that was beyond what is normal for me. I can fill a room and I get that, but that's not what I saw when I walked into that room and what was going on. And so it was a huge answer to prayer. I walked away just, appreciative of what the Lord did. The thing went really well. I'm giving him glory because I get to be a good spokesmodel a lot of times. And then the Lord showed up. So that was my week.
That's pretty cool. And I'm just gonna say, like, as a guy who's not in it, like the fact that you're like, and I walked into the Pentagon, like I'm just saying that's cool in and of itself, dude.
Okay, Chris. Here's the deal about the Pentagon. For the longest time, I was like, "Oh, it's awesome to walk in the Pentagon. This is great because I don't work here, suckers." I was like, "I'm just visiting, just passing through," and then I spent 7 months working there, and then I don't think that anymore.
Well, for somebody who doesn't just walk into the Pentagon,
no, I agree. It is pretty neat. It's a huge museum, and someday we'll find a way to get you at least a tour. And you got to come up. You got to visit. Hey, do you have anything else you want to hit before we dive in?
Man, just a great week, dude. And what was really cool is when I was just in the mountains, and I guess when I say this, so we went to Colorado. It was beautiful, in the mountains, and one of the things I've noticed is that when I got away to Broken Bow and had some time just alone with God, man, I feel like I heard him more clearly. When I was in this summer, when I was in Cooper, when I got away and after spending a day working, the next morning I woke up and spending time with God and once again heard him more clearly. When I was in the mountains, it was like this clear, direct download, and like I'm pretty excited about the message that I will have spoken yesterday. That I'm speaking tomorrow.
Ready to go.
Just because it was such a clear download from God. And so it's just I guess it's a reminder to me of how important it is to not just, it's great to have those moments where you just get alone each day. But man, when you get a chance to get away from the everyday ups and downs, like there's clearly a reason Jesus would go away to be alone with God.
No,
like
you're right.
He would go out into the wilderness. He would go up on the mountain. He'd go, like he was going out of the everyday routine and I think a lot of times we'll go out of the everyday routine, but those are the times that we spend less time with God rather than more time with God. And not that you have to spend more time with God, but man, don't miss those moments, because I'm telling you, like each time I got away, it was like and got in a place that was quiet and in nature. I just heard
it's awesome.
clearly, and so it's pretty cool deal. I just highly encourage that. And if it's just saying, hey, one day I'm going to get up and go to the state park down the road and sit and, go sit at a picnic table where there's, some kind of peace and quiet out in nature, whatever that might be, man, find a place, because I'm telling you, that was a pretty cool experience. And I enjoyed it a ton. So.
That is awesome. I've been listening to a great podcast. I probably should send you the podcast, but a great podcast about revivals that are breaking out. You think the Asbury revival, there's revival breaking out. Revival movements, awakenings, moments. Asbury being one of them. Saddleback, interestingly enough, experience cool. Kind of an awakening.
Yeah.
The UK church is experiencing an awakening.
Dude. Yeah, send it to me.
It's very fascinating. But it starts with what you're talking about. A lot of it starts with what you're talking about. It's that getting away, getting solely alone with the Lord and having that moment.
It's kind of like getting out of the familiar. Because the familiar almost desensitizes us to the spiritual. Whereas when you get out of the familiar, it almost opens you up to it gets some of the noise out of the way, the physical noise, so that you can hear more clearly spiritually from God. So
I agree.
I don't know, man. It was a cool experience.
That's cool. Hey, I wanted to jump in at Nehemiah. So while I was doing all this Pentagon-y stuff and going and And
Pentagonese stuff. That's a good. I
yeah,
didn't know that was a
it's a
word, but
thing.
this
It's a
works.
thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna see some. I didn't actually correlate this till just now. What day was Tuesday? Tuesday was the 26th. Yeah, it may have been last week, but no, it wasn't. Yeah, it was the day before. Sure enough. Hey, so the day before and the day of that I went to the Pentagon, I was in Nehemiah.
Yeah.
And if you haven't read Nehemiah, it's a great book. It's a great book on leadership. It's a great book on being prepared. It's a great book on focusing yourself before the Lord. It's a great book on how I think sometimes we slow fade, and sometimes we need to be brought back. It's a little bit all of that. But one of the things that I thought was interesting as I was reading Nehemiah is Nehemiah was a cupbearer for the king at the time in Persia, and he had a friend come back from Jerusalem. Now, there had already been Jews who returned to Jerusalem. They were sent by the previous king, and so I think I don't know if it was Xerxes or who it was. Doesn't matter. They were sent.
Cyrus.
And he got Cyrus. That's right. He got a word back from a friend, and he said, "Hey, how's it going there?" And he's like, "It's not going well."
Yeah,
it's not going well. They're there, but the walls are broken down. The gates are burned. They're in great trouble and disgrace. And what I never realized when I was reading this, and I've read this, Chris, I've read this a ton of times. I've read this since I was young, is that it was in the month of Kislev, which I had to look up.
Yeah,
and
that's like, I don't know what that means.
Which I had to look up.
I know that there's a month of Nissan because I've always thought, do you get 0% financing during that month or what? But,
hey, that's actually when he talks to the king. Funny enough. But Kislev was the month in November-ish. And I say ish because of the way their calendar was built. And I don't know what drew me to this, but I saw Kislev, and then I went to the next chapter, which says in the month of Nisan.
Okay.
And during King Artaxerxes, Nehemiah was in front of the king. And that's when the king asked him, "Hey, why are you sad and what do you need?" kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
he was like, "Tell me what you want, what you really, really want."
I'll tell you what he wants, what he really, really wanted. But the month of Nisan, Chris, was the month of March.
Okay.
So think about that. He humbled himself before the Lord. He fasted, he prayed, he did all that. It was in November, December timeframe. And then it wasn't for 3 months. And so I think when I read that, I think sometimes I get a little bit caught up in the idea that, I prayed and, God didn't answer.
Right.
And it was 5 months.
Yeah. No, if it doesn't come if the answer doesn't come in a week, we're thinking, all right, God, where are you? That's at least how I feel. It's like.
Now, what's interesting too is the king says, "Why does your face look so sad? You're not when you're not ill." So apparently he knew he wasn't ill, which is kind of funny. That's kind of harkens me back to the, "Hey, do you get a cold? Well, you got the vid. Get out of here." Anyway,
yeah.
And anyway, the king looks at him and says, "This can be nothing but sadness of the heart." So the king recognized a little difference. Now, you're not allowed to be sad in front of the king back then, so that's a little bit of a thing.
For that.
Yeah, he says, "I was very afraid." That's what Nehemiah writes.
Yeah,
and he tells him, "Hey, basically the what's going on in the situation back in Jerusalem." And the king says, "Well, what do you want?" And Nehemiah, hey, let me go back, let me think about it, blah, blah. He said, "Nope, this is what I need." He lists it out, how long I'm going to be gone, the whole 9 yards. The king says, "All right, you're going to get that and more. You're going to get that and more. You didn't ask for food along the way. You didn't ask for money. You didn't ask for money along the way. You didn't ask for some of the stuff to go back with you, but we're going to do all of that. And you're going to go back and you're going to do exactly what you think."
Now, I love the fact that he was ready, because you know what that tells me is that he said, "Look, I believe God's going to give me an opportunity. And so I'm going to prepare like I believe God's going to come through." Like, if you think about it,
I didn't even think about that. So yeah, absolutely.
He might have been just shooting from the hip, but here's the
deal.
It. How often do we pray? Like, I used to have a guy say, pray for rain and then take an umbrella. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're praying for rain and you truly believe God's going to answer your prayer, Like, you better have your galoshes ready, bro. Like, if you truly believe it.
Hey, Chris.
Do you know what a
Sorry, you
galosh
made
is?
me. Yeah, I know what a galosh. It's
Okay,
a
go ahead.
boot, right?
Yeah, it's like
All right.
what we wore as a kid. I just
Yeah,
said
yeah, yeah.
galoshes though, and I was like, when was the last time I used that word?
You know what you made me think of? Actually,
Hmm.
this is kind of funny. In the Asbury revivals, one of the stories was this basketball player who was at the campus because he played basketball, not because he was a Christ follower. Asbury is a Christian university. Spent I think 2 or 3 days at the revival or the awakening or the movement, whatever they called it, with his girlfriend because his girlfriend was there, but he wasn't a Christ follower. He was just hanging out, and it's like on the third day or fourth day, finally, like God got a hold of him, and he came to know Christ. And so he's walking out of the room, and he sees this guy in a wheelchair who's got tumors and some other stuff, and it's like visible manifestations of some of his sickness. And he looks at his girlfriend and goes, "Well, why don't we pray for him for healing? Because he needs healing, and that's what we should do." And he
Yeah.
walks over, and the guy says that was talking about it. He goes, "And because he didn't know better, right? I mean, think about
Yeah.
that. Because he
Yeah.
didn't know better, he went and prayed for that guy who got out of his wheelchair and no longer has tumors.
Come
God
on,
healed
man.
him."
Yeah.
Because the guy that was only saved for 30 minutes didn't know better.
Yeah, because he
He
hadn't
prayed for
come
rain and
become
he brought an umbrella.
yeah, he didn't become desensitized to faith, where we start making excuses for why God won't.
Yeah. And so
Right?
Nehemiah
We don't
here.
have to make excuses for why God won't.
Yeah,
Let's
exactly.
just believe that He will. I love that, dude. That's
Yeah.
good.
So Nehemiah here, right? He's like, "Hey, this is what I need." He's been praying for it, and he knows God is going to answer it. It took it 4 or 5 months. And I think about that in my situation, right? Is that I get to have these random weird conversations at the highest levels a lot of times.
Yeah.
And every time I walk into those situations, because they're bathed in prayer, and there's a lot of prayer that goes into it. Chris, I walked into Tuesday with complete confidence that the Lord had gone before me.
Yeah. That's
Not
awesome.
was going before me.
It's
Had
all
gone
had
before
gone.
me. That's right. Had
Past
gone before
tense.
me.
Yeah.
And all I needed to do was sit there and be sensitive to what he was doing in the moment, which that's why I asked for prayer. So anyway, that was pretty interesting. I was really correlating that, and then I think the other piece, Chris, that really hit me is in Nehemiah 4. And maybe spend a little bit more time here, maybe not. I don't know. Essentially, Nehemiah is rebuilding the wall in chapter 4 up to chapter 4, and then finally in chapter 4, some of the people in the area, this guy named Sanballat, I don't know, Sanballat. Anyway,
That's
he
the French
is,
way.
yeah, he is not happy that they are building the wall, and this other guy, Tobiah the Ammonite, also not happy that they're building the wall, and in fact, they start I don't know, making fun of them, and then telling them they're going to, do things. And they actually start talking about ways to like maybe attack the wall, because the wall's about half built. And so they're like, "Oh, we better do something about this. Otherwise they're going to build a wall." And so in verse 8, let's start in 7. It says, "But when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabs, Ammonites, and Ashdodites heard that the work was going ahead and that gaps in the wall of Jerusalem were being repaired, they were furious. They all made plans to come and fight against Jerusalem and throw us into confusion. But we prayed to our God and guarded the city day and night to protect ourselves." I'm going to go a little bit further and then we'll kind of go back. It says, "Then the people of Judah began to complain. The workers are getting tired. There's so much rubble to be moved. We will never be able to build the wall by ourselves." And then they said, "Meanwhile, our enemies are saying, before they know what's happening, we'll swoop down on them and kill them and end their work." So kind of goes through some I'm going to call it the he said, she said, but like I call it the fear came out.
Yeah.
And then I love this because Nehemiah says to them in verse 14, "Don't be afraid of the enemy. Remember the Lord who is great and glorious. Fight for your brothers, your sons, your daughters, your wives, and your homes. When our enemies heard that we knew of their plans and that God had frustrated them, we all returned to our work on the wall. But from then on, only half my men worked, while the other half stood guard with spears, shields, bows, and coats of mail. The leaders stationed themselves behind the people of Judah who were building the wall, and the laborers carried on their work with one hand supporting their load and one hand holding a weapon.
Yeah.
And yeah, he goes, all the builders had a sword belted to their side. Chris, one of the things that I notice about that, and then I'll pitch it back over to you a little bit, is there is this threat from outside, external. Nehemiah and inside, frankly, the Jews weren't necessarily trusting in the Lord at this point, right? Nehemiah, the leader, stepped up and said, "Hey, don't be afraid. The Lord your God is with you. The Lord is with us." And then he has, and we're going to strap a sword on. We're going to strap a sword on. We're not going to take our clothes off. We're going to be ready at any given point in time. There will never be a moment where they can attack us and we're not ready to whip it on. We stood guard with shields, spears, bows, and coats of mail. And so it was this both and, right? Yeah. I'm going to trust that the Lord is going to fight for us, but I'm also going to show up. It's that idea, like I just said earlier, right? The Lord went before me, had gone, past tense, before me. Nehemiah is like, he's gone before me. I still had to go to the meeting though, Yeah. And I still had to prepare for the meeting. I still had to bring my notes, still had to do my part.
Yeah, God still often uses people. And I think this is also, Robert, where like we've tried to separate the physical and the spiritual, thinking that, the spiritual battle happens and it just causes the physical to crumble and we don't have to face any tension or trouble or might or, it's like God just make it where I don't have to face it. And he's going, no, I want you to face it so that you can watch me work for you. And it makes me think a little bit of, over in Second Chronicles, is it 17? 20, verse 17. I'll back up to 15, but these armies had surrounded
so where is it?
Israel. Sorry. Second Chronicles 20.
Second Chronicles 20? Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
And they'd surrounded the army of Israel and King, or maybe it's probably Judah. Sorry, the army of Judah. Okay. And King Jehoshaphat, which was a good king at the time, goes to God and says, God, what do we do? We don't know.
Oh, I love this. Yeah.
Our eyes are on you kind of deal. And then verse 15, he says, listen, all you people of Judah and Jerusalem, listen, King Jehoshaphat. This is what the Lord says. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged by this mighty army, for the battle is not yours, but God's. Now, it's God's. He says, so tomorrow, march out against them. You'll find them coming up through the ascent of Ziz, at the end of the valley that opens in the wilderness of Jeruel. But you will not even need to fight. You won't need to fight. But here's what he tells them to do. Take your positions, then stand still and watch the Lord's victory. He is with you, O people of Judah and Jerusalem. Do not be afraid or discouraged. Go out against them tomorrow, for the Lord is with you. They still had to go out. They still had to take their positions. That's what I think about right here at Nehemiah. He's going, look, I'm not asking you to just go and hide and come out of hiding when I've got it taken care of. I'm saying, I want you to go. He says, be strong and courageous. Don't be afraid. Don't be discouraged, but stand and fight and be the mighty men that I've created you to be, knowing that, you can't win this on your own. I'm not asking you to go and do it in your own power. I'm asking you to go do it, or go and stand and let me do it through you. And I think a lot of times out of fear makes us go, I don't see how this is going to work. I don't see how we're going to win this battle. In what I love with Nehemiah, he goes, hey, I want you to go and keep doing what I put you here to do. But just be, it makes me think of the 1 Peter 5 but be alert. Watch out. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring. Don't
seeking
let
for somebody to kill and destroy.
Down, right?
Yeah.
Don't let your guard down, but continue to move forward in what I put you there to do, knowing that I will give you I'm fighting your battles in the spiritual realm while you're standing firm in the physical realm.
Yeah, that's the thing. And it's fascinating. The folks there in Jehoshaphat's time, they just had to go up and take their positions, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes they had to go out and fight. Okay, got it. David had to go out and fight. Got it. Nehemiah didn't have to fight. In fact, he was building a wall. I mean, he could have honestly, Chris, he really technically could have just said, okay, well, the Lord's going to protect us. We don't really need to do anything. We're just going to keep building the wall and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that Nehemiah was in step with the Lord, and God was like, yeah, I'm going to protect you, but you're going to be a participant in my work. And
Yes.
I think
Participant. Yes.
that's my point. Yeah. And so I think that's really as you're listening right now, you're like, okay, I got it. I don't really fight any battles. I know kung fu. Maybe I got a Judy chop. You know,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Is
Yeah.
that that's not really what I think I'm hitting at. It's that we are participants in his work.
That's right.
And this week, when I was going up to the Pentagon, I saw what I was doing as being a participant in his like what he's doing in his work. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's technically my regular job, it's technically what
Yeah.
I really regularly do, but I
Yep.
think the Lord
Ooh.
put me there for that reason.
So I've got a couple like application slash illustration, but I really think they're very practical application. I think about it like this: it's like when you're a student and you got a test coming. You're going,
Yeah.
God, I need you to help me with it. He's going, well, study and get ready, and I'll help you with it. But if you go into that test and you're going, God, I need you to help me, you need to help me, but you didn't spend any time doing the work to prepare on the physical end, he's going, yeah, I want to help you. I want to help you succeed, but you gotta
Yeah.
do what you're responsible for. I think of it
Yeah, I
like
put in the
parenting.
work. To your
Yeah,
point, Chris, I put in the work to the
yeah,
job that God put me in, but I also was full faith that He was going to go before me. Keep
before
going.
you,
Sorry.
right? So then parenting, like God, I need you to I want you to capture my kid's heart, and I want you to protect them from evil, and I want them to walk with you, God. That would be my desire, God. We ask your blessing on them, but then you like don't create any boundaries for
Yeah.
for um yeah, for example is like cell phone use, bro. Man, I see this destroy kids all the time, and
Yeah.
they get into stuff on the cell phone that they're allowed to have in their bedroom, um, and you're like, that's like putting a sewage pipe delivered to your student's bedroom and saying, God, please don't let them get any sewage on them. Like you're like, what do
It's
you
literally, yeah,
it's
it's crazy.
but it's one of those deals of God's going, yes, I want to protect them, but hey, I want you to do your part as a parent to create healthy boundaries, and I want you to walk with them. I want you to say no to things that aren't healthy. I don't care what anyone else says. Like I
Yeah.
want you to do your part and then trust me with their lives. And remember, I'm not saying this as a guy who goes like I'm a perfect parent and here's all the things. I'm saying this as a guy who's looked up and went, that's probably not the best choice. I
I
need to
I will
I need
say
to
this as a
readjust.
I'll say this as a parent who didn't do it right on my number one, got better on number two, and I think I'm kind of rolling into my position in number three. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and so you're right. Go ahead.
And that's my deal though, is like, hey, there's another example. Lord, financially we need a breakthrough. We're in tough stuff, and he's going, okay, well then stop ordering from Amazon, and hey, sell your car that you're underwater in the payment and get a junker car, and get a budget and live by the budget, and go to work, get a job, work hard. And you're going, oh, but God, I just really want mailbox money, is really what I was looking for. And he's going,
Yeah.
no, I will bless the works of your hands. And when you're a good steward with what I've given you, then I know I can entrust you with more. But if you're a poor steward with what I've already given you, what are you going to do if I give you more?
Chris,
Be a
and
poor steward. And so
yeah,
I just look at it and go, in so many areas of our lives, we feel like it's a spiritual battle. Another thing, health. Robert, man, I'm going to get off on something here. On health, like we get unhealthy and get out of, and we just feel bad all the time. God, I need you to heal me. He's going, I will, and I want
you
to.
got to put down the donut.
But yeah, you got to make some different life choices. You're
Got to make
literally
some
walking
choices.
into this. Like
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell you, that's not what I created for you. And you're putting poison in your body and asking me not to let the poison affect you. And he's like, that's not the way it works. He's saying, I
Yeah.
want you to honor me with your body, and I want you to be a good steward of the time and the health that I have given you. And as you do that, I honor. It doesn't mean you won't get sick. Doesn't mean, because we still live in a broken world. But at the end of the day, so much of what we're walking through is self-inflicted. And He's going, "Hey, I want you to take your position in the physical world, believing that I've got plans for you, and walking in such a way that aligns with my truth." And then I'm going to come along and I'm going to fight with you and for you, and you're going to find breakthrough in these areas. And so to me, it's just understanding that the physical and the spiritual are absolutely not are absolutely connected. They're absolutely
100%.
not disconnected.
Yep.
And so He's saying, "Hey, take your position, do what I put you there to do.
Hey, let's talk about that for a second.
Let me fight for you."
Let's talk about that for a second. While you were talking about jobs, it made me think of something, right?
Yeah.
It made me think of the idea that sometimes we're looking for the perfect job, or we're really trying to find the thing that we really like, that speaks to our soul, that it's the thing that makes us come alive, and etc. Yeah. I would offer that you're not looking in the right direction. You are absolutely self-focused. And what I would offer is that sometimes the Lord wants to put you in a position, not because it makes your soul come alive or your heart come alive, but because it makes your soul come alive. And I say it this way,
no job could ever do that.
Well, He's putting you, your soul will come alive if you start realizing that He put you in a place for a reason. Right?
That's right.
You think Nehemiah really wanted to be the cupbearer for the king of Persia?
No joke.
Like, do you think that was like his life goal? His life goals, woke up and he's like, you know what I really love to do? I like to bear cups. I like to bear cups.
That he was the wine taster to see if it was poisoned.
So I really want to be the first one to go. Like, I want to know.
That day on the job was like deadly.
Right. Like,
literally.
Man, but here's the deal, Chris. He stood in, he did what, he was faithful to where God had him. Because that's where God had him. Right. He was faithful to where God had him. And then when the Lord had him there because He had an opportunity for him. He had something He wanted him to do, and what He wanted him to do was to go back and rebuild the temple. Put the walls up. And that's what He did. And so I think if you're listening and you're like, okay, I see it, and I need to go up and stay in my position, I'm not like a Judy Chop kind of person. What we're trying to say is that the Lord has you in a wherever you're at for a reason. Look around. Ask yourself, what am I learning? What is He teaching me? What does He want me to know? And then what does He want me to do? We talk about that all the time.
Right.
And we can see that here with Nehemiah. Nehemiah, what did He want him to know? Well, clearly He wanted him to know, because guess what? Nehemiah went back to be the cupbearer. So he spends time, gets the wall built, and he goes home. And then he comes back to Jerusalem.
Which is great, because he did what he said he would do. He told the king he would come back, and he fulfilled his commitment.
So I say that, Chris, that's good. Well, last thing, I swear. So if you're in a role, that you're not super excited about or stoked about, fulfill your commitment.
That's right.
Do what it is that you're supposed to do, what you say you will do, because you are a reflection of the Lord. You're a reflection of His Holy Spirit in that environment. Right. And that actually might be why He has you there to begin with. So anyway, I saw, like I said, this kind of culminated this week around this this trip to the Pentagon to do a very high level brief, and I could see the Lord going before me, and that's why I wanted to talk about it today. I'll let you get kind of closing comments, because I really did. I don't know. It's kind of fun to be back. It's been a couple weeks.
It is fun to be back. I guess my thing is it just comes back to understanding that God has you where He has you for a reason, and for a purpose. And if you want to experience that purpose, it's about taking your position.
Yes.
Being faithful to take the position God has given you and trust Him with the outcome. And look, if you're praying for rain, you better take an umbrella.
Yeah, amen.